We do this so often. We think that we are here and that in order to be caring for so many other people, that we have to give up of our being and our essence and our worthiness in order for their happiness to come forth. And it will inevitably end up in a conflict. There will not be a resolution if you are, or if someone else is expecting of you to be their answer, their God. It doesn't work that way. It's all within. You already have it. People will guide you. They will light the light. They will remember. They will sometimes remind you in ways that you don't want to hear it. But just stay open to that possibility. You all know that we're in this huge election this year, and you kind of wonder, where's the loving kindness? Where's the caring that's going on? You know, what's the expression of, you know, are we really listening? Are we truly listening to the needs and the wants of everyone? And how do we do that? You know, it takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of work. You got to move through a lot of things in order to get to that place of perfection. There was so many passages this week. For those of you who are new here, we've been following the textbook, the Science of Mind textbook, every day. There's a little chart that says, here's what you read today, and here's what you read the next day, and we've been doing that so that in this entire year, we will have covered that thick book, the Science of Mind textbook, in the way that Ernest Holmes wrote it, and we kind of flush it out, and we do our own editing, and we move it around so that it's more current, because originally, you know, it was 1926, edited in 1938, and hasn't changed since. So a lot of that has to be brought forth and has to be brought current. But some of those passages are so beautiful and so deep and so loving that they live throughout time. They live in a way that it makes no difference of where you are, who you are, where you've been, where you think you're going, or where you want to be. The passages are the deep truths of when Ernest Holmes reached that place within himself of having the mystical experience. I truly believe that Ernest Holmes is one of the mystics of our current era, and that he had a way in which he could tap into the divine source within him in order to bring forth an understanding of a truth that could be used by anyone. Some of the things that were coming up this week I just find totally and absolutely and completely fascinating. This idea of involution and evolution and inner consciousness and the Gnostic knowledge and cosmic consciousness and knowing truth, and it was just like all flowing all over the place with me. And I was like getting really, really excited, because my book is about radiating consciousness. And everything this week was coming forth with this idea that said consciousness. And we've been talking about this for the last couple of weeks. The passages that we've been reading is about consciousness. Big stuff, people. Really big stuff if you can move into the cosmic consciousness to where you can know even something more wonderful than you knew yesterday. But how do you receive that? How do you get there? How do you move into that place? One of the ways that I found that works really well for me, and I don't know if it'll work for you, but I'm going to suggest that you try it. And it's called about getting really quiet. A couple of months ago or several weeks ago, I said I was going to get silent. I was going to learn to shut up. Yeah. That's about the extent of what I'm able to do. But in that few moments of silence, I can feel the presence. I can feel the divine as it is expressing through me. Try it. Attend the meditation. Sit in some place in your home where there's no electronic devices and people and things going on, and find a moment, even if it's 10 seconds of just being quiet. The first thing you're going to notice is the monkey chatter. All the noise that's going on in the mind all the time. And that's where you have to begin to let that go and let that go, so that you can find even more quietness, more gentle time with yourself, your higher self, your inner consciousness. In my Thursday night class, I'm working a lot with this consciousness, and I've been talking about this idea, and it's like, how do we define this? And it's like, there's really no perfect way to do it, because first of all, it's eternal, it's unlimited, it's absolute, it's wholeness, it's oneness, and then more. It's beyond the comprehension of the human brain, of what we understand to be that intelligence, that divine intelligence, that eternal life, that which I choose to call God. And God is just a name. It could be Jehovah, it could be, Allah, it could be many, many things. You have something in your brain, in your mind, of a concept of what God is. So when I'm reading the passage from Ernest Holmes today, and it says, that God, He's your only keeper, and I'm thinking, well, the women are not going to like that one. Well, what if God is not even gender? What if it's something even beyond gender? What if it's something that's even beyond human form? What if it is pure intelligence? What if we break down all of the forms and all of the icons and all of the symbols and just leave this big open blank space and say, and God's more than that? Or whatever we want to call it. It's huge. It's magnificent. It's magnanimous and some other words. You can't describe it, but you can feel it. You can feel it. Am I right? Yeah. Many of you have felt it. Many of you have actually had that experience that I'm calling the mystic experience. You tapped into the source, you tapped into the divine, you tapped into that infinite wholeness. And probably what you're doing right now is trying to reclaim that. You're trying to find it again. You're trying to move back into that space. How did I get there in the first place? And how do I get back to it again? Because it was so magnificent. It was so beautiful. It was so loving. It was that essence and that being that regardless of what corner I turned, no matter what the condition or the appearance was, I saw love. That's where we are heading. That's the destination that we want to get to. That's the point in time and place in this human form that we want to have an experience of. And I'm going to tell you why. And usually you never find out why. But I'm going to tell you why. My interpretation. So take it or leave it, I don't care. But it works for me. Because there is an intelligence. There is a divine intelligence. And it operates upon itself because that is all there is. Intelligence. Or energy, if you like that word. There is only energy. There is only intelligence.